Okay, cool. So let's start off with some gratitude. I mean, today when I wake up, I was something that I took away from Roger's call. I don't know if you guys remember Roger, but one thing that Roger said was every single morning he wakes up with a new mindset, right? He wakes up with a new mindset. Like today's the beginning of his year. And so I thought that was super powerful. So today I woke up and I'm like, today it's a new year, it's a new opportunity. I have new leads, I have new people that I can work with to hire, right? The opportunity that I had when I woke up this morning was like it's unlimited opportunity. There's unlimited veterans out there for me to reach. There's unlimited hires out there for me to reach. And I'm not going to take yesterday's bad week into this. So I was really grateful for the fact that I renewed my mind to say this is a fresh opportunity today. This is a fresh opportunity that I have each and every single day. And so just coming into a new day with a fresh start, not taking in yesterday or the rest of the week or the previous month into account. Today is a new day. Today is a new opportunity for you guys. So that's what I'm really grateful for. Marcus, I'm grateful that I will get to work with some of my closest friends I've known for a long, long time. And I'm also grateful to know that I'm going to be working with you guys for a long time. I know Pena's in here, ride or die. Mr. American flag in the background. He set that aesthetic up to make sure his clients are happy. So that's a smart move right there. I love that. Pena, good morning, sir. What are you grateful for?
Ready to take a phone call at a moment's notice. Also, Mr. Marcus, bro, always there for us, always here. Got the systems in place and somebody that you can just always rely on. Grateful for Steven Garnica. He's my bro from day one. Mr. Christian, bro, he's been crushing it on 4K ALP in like 2 to 3 days. Crazy stuff. And really grateful for all of you guys too. I'm sure we're going to connect in the future. So yeah, shout out to the squad.
Let's go. That's huge. Go ahead, Miss Dana.
Okay, so a lot of people, they're always complimenting and so amazing team and and all the community and all of the wonderfulness about this team. But I wanted to give a couple specifics. What I have noticed is this team, they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. And when I say team, I'm talking about the top producers, the leaders of our team, things like that. And it's almost kind of like a no man left behind mentality. They think the same way about everybody. They don't just think about themselves, they lead by example. When we're on, Zooms, they are too. Marcus is the last one to leave, because he is going to stay there until he knows for sure that maybe a new agent doesn't need his help or something like that. And in a time when they're doing so much for push month, Alex is adding even more trainings on. They are becoming less selfish, as the time goes on, when they could be concentrating on themselves. And it's just kind of like they just lead by example and they put themselves first. And I just wanted to give one more example because this is Rome with my daughter. I was able to meet, a lot of these people. And what I noticed is there was never reserved tables. There was never reserved spots anywhere. The first night before I had even met anybody, I witnessed everybody mingling and no one in leadership position, not that I would have even known who a leader was at that point. Nobody was scrambling to save a spot. The partners and the leaders that I have now come to know, they were the last ones to sit down. David Carpenter may not even remember this, but he made sure that my daughter and I, who didn't know anybody there, made sure that we had a seat before he worried about where he was going to sit.
Wow.
And now that I know some of these people, I remember them, and they were the last ones to sit down. And it was just like, that was a sight to see because I've never witnessed anything like that. And so they really do. They walk the walk, and we're all very important to them. And I just woke up and I just wanted to share those specifics.
I love that story. That speaks truth to who David is. Obviously, I see him behind the scenes a lot, and he's the same person on and off camera. So I love that you got to see that side of him. And I'm sure that's why we're all here, because we know that his true character and integrity. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, but they were all like that. They were all like that.
Wow. That is crazy. That is so amazing. And so leadership lesson for you guys, I see you all as, as David sees you, I see you guys all as someone that is going to have a multiple 7-figure business, right? When someone's told me that like I was going to have a 7-figure business, I was like, that's crazy. That's insane. There's no way. And then it happened, right? The reason why it happened was because of a few things, all right? The real issue here is not talent, okay? The real issue is not talent, all right? Brittany, you came in, you've been licensed for 5 weeks, right? So the real issue is clearly not talent. Now, granted, you are very, very talented and you're continuing to be more talented, but the real lesson is activity. So if you're hiring somebody and someone says, I want to make $20,000 a month, what is David's next question? Can anybody guess it? How many appointments are you running, right? And so that's the very next question. If you want to make $20,000 in a month, the very next question you need to be asking yourself is, how many appointments do I need to run to get there? Because if the activity isn't there, the income can't appear. Okay, is that a rhyme? I don't know. It's close. If the activity isn't there, the income can't appear. Okay, so you need to look at your income goal. So let's just say $20,000 net income a month. $20,000 average commission. Okay, that's going to say $1,000 equals sales needed. Okay, so sales needed, and then your close ratio looks at appointments needed. Okay, so there's a formula. There's a formula here. So income goal, so 20,000, right? 20,000 divided by the average commission of 1,000. You guys following along with me with your calculators here? So income goal, 20,000 a month divided by average appointment of 1,000. That's 20 sales. That's 20 sales needed, right? 20 sales needed. Let's say divided by your close ratio of 30%, divided by 30. Oh yeah, I'm not doing that right. But it comes out to 66 sales needed and close ratio. Maybe someone else can help me with this. So we're looking at trying to figure out how many close. So goal is 20,000. Average sale is about 1,000 to 1,200. Okay, that's 17. That's going to be about 17 to 20 sales. Okay, 17 sales times 0.30. Excuse me. Divided by 0.30. Yes. Okay, 17 divided by 0.30 is 56. All right, I did it right. Okay, I had it right. Not a mathematician, guys, here. But let's run it by one more time. Goal is 20,000. Average sale is 1,000. So 20,000 divided by 1,000 is 20 sales. Okay, 20 sales divided by 0.30 is 66. Okay, so that's 66 appointments in a month. Okay, that's about 2 to 3 per day, right? So we'll just say 3 appointments per day. So that's how you run it backwards. Okay, that's how you work it backwards. Does that make sense? Pretty straightforward. So now the goal is, okay, how can I get into those 33 to 66 or 66 sits a month, right? I need to get into 66 sits a month. That's where I would look at. Now we got to work that backwards, right? So if I want to make 20,000 a month, I need to have 66 appointments, 66 to 100 appointments a month. That's 3 to 4 per day. So if you're not getting 3 to 4 per day, where am I going wrong in my activity process? Okay. And what you lack for talent, you make up in volume. What you lack for talent, you make up in volume. Okay. So it's very simple. How much do you want to make? Stephen Garnica, how much do you want to make? Net income in a month was
like 30,000.
30,000.
Last month was like 17.
So how you want to make 30,000 a month, right? Okay. So let's do it. 30,000. You got your calculator ready?
I do.
Okay, 30,000. Let's say your average sale is 1,200. So do 30,000 divided by 1,200. What's that number?
Divided by 1,200.
Mm-hmm.
That's 25.
Okay, so that's 25 sales a month. Now do 25 sales divided by 0.35.
71.
Okay, so that's 71 sits a month. Okay. How many sits a day is that?
Divided by, let's say like 28. That's 2 sits.
Is that it? Okay. All right. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Okay. So success in business isn't random. If you know your close ratio is 30%, that means out of every 10 people you should write about 3 families. The real question is are you going to do the activity to let the math work? Are you going to have the activity to let the math work? Okay, because that's the math. Now, that's very, very straightforward, very, very simple, right? Not very difficult. What can you do to help increase your activity process? What are some ideas? How can we help increase our activity process? Who's got an idea?
Increase your booking.
Get better at booking. Okay, that's good. That's number 1. Get better at booking. What's another way to increase your activity process?
Show up more days.
Work more. Okay. I don't know if that's the best answer. I like working smarter, not harder. Let's see if we can find another one. What is the
in the home?
Booking in the home? There we go. That'll help your activity process. What's another way that's going to help your activity process?
What do you mean when you say booking in the home?
That's a great question.
I've heard people say that. I don't think I actually know what that is.
Do you use the what script do you have access to?
The AO handbook, that script.
AO handbook. So in the AO family handbook, on the left-hand bar, when it opens up, there's going to be a script that says booking in home /domino.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was the domino. That's what I thought it was. Okay. I wasn't sure.
Same thing. Yeah. Book in home domino. Perfect.
Okay. Got it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's great. So we've got booking in home. We've got getting better at plus leads. What else is going to help us get into more sits?
High AOP per sale size. That help you get your income go faster.
ALP per sale size, that's going to help your income go faster, but you can't have a higher ALP if you're sitting broke people. So it comes back down to, am I qualifying my plus leads, right? Because you can't have a high ALP per sale if their discretionary is really bad. So when you're looking at higher ALP per sale, that means you have to be smarter about the plus leads you are collecting and qualifying your plus leads. So if you want a higher ALP per sale, it doesn't just come down to, I'm going to sell them more. You can't just sell somebody more that doesn't have the money. You need to sit wealthier people. That's how you increase your ALP per sale. You sit wealthier people. You don't charge broke people more. Okay. So I know you guys know that, but I wanted to make that clear because I thought that I'm like, well, Mary only has a $200 discretion. I'm going to charge Mary $400 a month. I need to get my ALP per sale up. That doesn't work. Right. So when you're sitting with your plus leads, it's okay, who actually has the best job, right? That's why it says in the plus leads, when you're doing the sponsorship program, occupation. I'm taking into account the occupation of my sponsored leads to target those people a little bit more. Does that make sense? Okay, so take into account the occupation of your sponsored leads. Don't go for the person that's on, I mean, sometimes disability is like $4,000 a month, right? But if that's all they have and their bills are really high, sometimes $4,000 a month's not it. Like, we're looking for that person that has a retirement income, that maybe is on 100% disability, and that still might even work or something, right? That would be a huge one. And also collecting Social Security, right? 4 paychecks, that would be big. Retirement, still working, Social Security, and disability, right? That guy's getting paid 4 times. His wife might still be working, so now they have 5 paychecks coming into the house. Now that guy, I can get a little bit higher ALP per sale, right? Things like that to take into account for. So what else is going to help our activity process?
You can hire bookers.
There we go. That's right. You can hire bookers. Now, I'm going to give you guys the sauce, all right? This is secret under the table stuff. You go to upwork.com. You go to upwork.com. You create a free account. You put in your card. You don't even get charged. You put in your job description, $5 per hour, maximum pay, $5 per hour. And it gives you 30 free hires. It gives you 30 free hires before you have to pay the subscription for upwork.com. Now, obviously, you're going to have to train this person, get them in Discord. So I have done this myself. You guys see Anonu in Strike an Eagle class right now. I love Anonu. Anonu is learning. She's made a few mistakes. I've already paid her, $25 like nothing crazy, right? I paid her 25 bucks, but I haven't seen any fruit from that yet because it takes time to get good at booking, right? So she worked for 5 hours. She had 2 flips, but I wasn't available for them, so I didn't make them. She booked an appointment, but didn't know how to use AOI, so the lead disappeared, right? So I still have to have grace for her in this situation, but my plan was like, I might spend $500 to $1,000 on her before I even get a return, right? That's a business owner's perspective. But now I want you guys to catch this. Let's say now 60 days, Anonu is doing really good. She's figured it out. She knows the system. She works well with us. Guess what? I'm paying Anonu $5 an hour for 25 hours a week. Okay, that's 100 hours a month. 100 hours a month times 5 months, that's $500. Now let's just say she books 2 appointments a day. She's working 4 to 5 hours a day. She books 2 appointments a day. That's 60 appointments a week. Let's say 50% of them show. That's 30 appointments that showed. Out of those 30 appointments that showed, 25% of them sale. 30 times 0.25 is 7 sales. Okay, now let's say 2 of them DQ and 1 of them is a trial. That's 4.5 sales. Average sale pays me, maybe let's say 900 bucks. So those 4.5 sales turned into $4,000. You guys follow how that worked? She books 2 to 3 appointments a day. She works 4 to 5 hours a day. I pay her $5 an hour. That's 100 hours a week. That's 100 times $5 an hour. That's $500 a month. She booked 60 appointments, 30 show, 25 sit. 30 show, 25% of that sit. 1 is a trial, 2 are declines. That's 4 sales in a month. That booker got me. I net $4,000. I pay her $500. I'm netting around $3,500 for having a booker. But remember, it also took me 2 months to train her. So my ROI doesn't really start catching up until about 90 days. So I have to take into account that, look, I'm going to be paying this maybe for 2 months, maybe 3 months going in. Right? That's my mindset. That's the mindset of a business owner, right? You start a Chick-fil-A, you're $100,000 in debt for a few months until you hit your revenue, and then you start making money after that, right? If you build a construction building, you're pretty much out of pocket until the people start paying their income, the people start paying the rent. So you got to think like a business owner. You might have to take a hit for 1 to 2 months, but you see the long-term game of building a successful booker and actually pouring into a booker and not just firing them after 2 weeks because they didn't know what they were doing, right? So that's another perspective. Any other ways to help Garnica and yourself make that $30,000 a month, right? It comes down to making those sits. So we found a few ways to help us get into more sits. Qualifying your plus leads on their occupation to get a higher ALP per sale. I like that one. Okay. Getting a booker. That was good. Getting better at plus leads. Let's talk about that. In the sponsorship program, there's an automated text. What you can do is create your own automated text by pressing the little edit button in the top right-hand corner. You guys all seen that edit button? You make it more personal. You make it more commanding, and you make it more exclusive. Hey, John, my time is pretty limited, but your dad really wanted me to get these benefits out to you. When do you have 5 minutes for me to discuss it? Boom. Hey, I have 5 minutes right now. Your dad wanted me to get this out to you. When is a better time for us to schedule this appointment? Okay, boom. So that 5 minutes is you to book that appointment with them. Okay, this is how it's going to help you guys get to $30,000 per month. Not working harder, but working smarter. I did over $13,000 from last Wednesday to this Wednesday. The amount of outbound dials I made, I don't even want to tell you guys. It was probably less than 250 for the whole week. Okay, but I still wrote over 13 grand because I figured out a way to work smarter, not harder. Victoria, you're shaking your head. I hope. All right. Working smarter, not harder. So I want to show you guys what working smarter, not harder is. I'm going to take Keisha, for example. Sorry, Keisha. So Keisha's working smarter, not harder. Keisha doesn't even really use her AOI outbound dialer because she is focusing on keeping track of her plus leads. So I'm going to quickly show you what that looks. So you guys all have your trackers, right? So when you guys are in your trackers and you're collecting your 5 to 25 to 30 plus leads, you're putting each plus lead in your tracker, and then you're doing the activity process 1, activity process 2, activity process 3. That's what Keisha follows. She's not wasting her time with activity process 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, I reached out once, I reached out twice, I reached out 3 times, I'm moving on. I have more plus leads coming in. Right? She's collected over 45 plus leads in the last 5 days. Right? So let's just say 25% of that sit. So let's just say she collected 45 plus leads. 45 times 0.25. 45 plus leads times 0.25. That's 11 sit. And then half of those sale. So divided by 2. That's 6 sales. She's going to close 6 deals this week. From this Wednesday to next Wednesday, she's going to average at least 6 plus lead sales from 40 plus leads. Right? So her entire next week, does she have to use her AOI dialer? Not really, because she has 43 plus leads to work. She needs to connect with half of them, book a quarter of them, and sell half of those. That's 6 sales lined up for next week. So what did Keisha do? So Keisha went on Upwork.com because she's going to be so busy in appointments that she went and found a booker for herself, and we're going through the interview process on that. Right? There's levels to this. If you guys want to get to where David's at, you got to get to the next level. Free up your time. A business owner wants to free up as much of his time as possible so he can do the next best thing that's going to make him the most amount of money. And so for all of us, what's going to make us the most amount of money is getting into more sits. So what can you do to free up your time to help you get into more sits so you can make more money? Is that pretty straightforward? Pretty clear? Any questions on that? Cool. And then obviously, when you continue to do that at a high level for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, your guys' passive income is going to go up every single year, right? So let's just say on average, you guys do about 150,000 ALP a year, which is not very good. And let's say you have no team. 150,000, your renewal is 3%. Okay, so that's 4,500 annually that you're going to get in renewals each year for being at AO. That's if you just do 150,000 AP a month, which is about 75 sales a year, which is really not that good. So let's say you're averaging about 75 sales a year. You're netting, you're grossing about 150,000 ALP, and you're getting a 3% renewal on that for the rest of your life. That's $4,500 a year in renewals divided by 12 months. That's $375 a month in renewals. Okay. So now if you do not get better at all, you don't get better at all, you stay completely stagnant for the next 10 years, 375 times 10, your net income in renewals is going to be $3,750 a month. It's not that bad. That $3,750 a month is going to pay you for the rest of your life. Okay. Now, obviously, there's ways to get those renewals up higher. You hire a few people, you close a few more deals, you work your way up in the partnership pathway, right? But if you really just stay stagnant, you do 150,000 ALP a year, you're netting around 75 grand. In 10 years, you're going to be making $4,000 a month and never have to work again. I mean, like, really. But you know what's going to happen in 10 years? I mean, you're probably going to hire about 4 to 5 people a year, maybe 10 people a year, maybe 20 people a year, right? And then you start overriding on their renewals. And then that compounds. And then those 10 people that you hired hire 10 people. And then those 10 people hire 10 more people. And it continues to build and it continues to grow, right? Rick Altig doesn't have to personally recruit anymore because he has got everybody else personally recruiting for him to build their legacy, right? So eventually it takes on a life of its own. So what I see, what David sees, is that in the next 10 years, this agency is going to take on a life of its own because there's going to be people like Garnica that wants to hit 100 million. There's going to be people like Brittany that wants to make 50 million. There's going to be people like Christian and his brother that want to make 50 million together as brothers and travel the world. That's going to be super exciting, right? There's going to be people that catch the vision for themselves and run with it. So that's why hiring is so important too. I invest into people, and one thing that you can get, that we all can get better at, is relationship building within the team, right? So one thing that David is helping me learn a whole lot is reaching out to my people pretty much every single day, right? Because a lot of the time I just expect you guys to, crush it and do amazing, but it really comes down to those touch points. Hey, how was your day? What was your struggle? How can I help you get better? Let's remember the vision, right? So when you're hiring and building, you don't want to focus on like, I mean, it's good. Hey, what were your numbers? I need to track your data. How many sits, how many sales, how many plus leads, how many dials, how many flips. We need that. We need that. We need to know that. But we also need to be like, hey, like, is Nova doing okay? How's your daughter? Okay, when are we going to help you move out to get your own place? You want to have $100,000 saved up? How are we going to help you get $100,000 saved up? You need to know your people's goals, like your actual people's real life goals. When I was hiring somebody yesterday, I'm like, I don't even want to talk about anything about life insurance. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want? And she's like, well, I want to move out and I still want to be able to help my mom. I was like, okay, David gave Lenore $100,000. I just said that, right? Like, okay, boom, she's hired. Right? I didn't have to say anything else. I didn't have to talk about AOI. I didn't have to talk about plus leads. I didn't have to talk about the dialer. I didn't have to talk about Globe Life. I didn't have to talk about the LA Lakers. I didn't have to talk about the Texas Rangers. I was like, look, lady, what do you want? And she's like, I want to be able to help my mom and move out. I said, okay, David literally gave his mom a $100,000 check. Here's the video on Instagram. She's like, okay, when do I start? 5-minute conversation. I hired her in 5 minutes. Right? Why? Because I got to exactly what she wants. I didn't have to oversell her. I said, this is what you really want in life. This is how you're going to get it. That was a real conversation. I really know what it's like with her and her house and her mom now. Like we got like to the deep level of her love for her family. We got to her root why in less than 5 minutes. I didn't have to pitch anything. It was a 5-minute conversation and boom, she's going to be on the team. Right? Why? Because I got to what's real in her life. I don't need the fluff. I don't care about hitting the points. I mean, I want you to hit the points, but like, can I help you actually achieve what you really want in life? And that's what a real coach does. That's what David has helped me do. David has helped me really achieve my real goals in real life. Being a better father, being a better husband, right? Being able to provide financially for them, being a better leader, being a better coach, right? Those are the things that I personally love to enjoy. I love to see when people are out there winning. So Brittany, you're winning right now. You've consistently won for the past week. And I don't want to air out your dirty laundry out there, but there was a time where Brittany, about 4 weeks ago, called me crying. She was very upset that her first deal canceled. Okay. And I said, this is part of the game. This is part of the game. This is the callus, and it's going to have to build. And all of a sudden, she stopped focusing on the cancellations. She stopped focusing on how all the old veterans are mean to her. And she said, you know what? I'm going to boss up, and I'm going to tell these veterans how I can protect their family. So I want you to take me in your mindset shift in about 3 to 5 minutes here. What shifted in your mindset, and what shifted in your work ethic?
Thank you, Luke. You were a big part of that, and just having, am I echoing? Okay. Having just the mentorship and the leadership to like fall back on, because like we're not meant to do this alone. So like knowing that I had Luke, who knew what he was doing, but then also like would listen to me, and actually like care about what was going on in my life, helped to just like get whatever that was like out. And then he would just tell me exactly what to do, and I would go do it. And there was still like struggle in that. Like there were still moments where I was like, I don't want to do any of this. Like, God, why am I here? Why did you bring me here? Like, this sucks. Everything that's happening, like, I don't know that I want to do this for a year, let alone 10 years. So I'm having a really hard time just like wrapping my head around it. And that's where the mindset shift and renewing our mind is so important. And I literally came from coaching as a mindset coach. So like I think that's even worse is because like I know what my mind is doing, like neurologically, and yet I still couldn't fix it. I couldn't do anything about it until I literally just surrendered it over to God. And God has been like the one thing I would say in my journey. And I know like that maybe not what you want to hear, but I'm here to say like I've done it all like in my own strength, like just throughout my whole life, and like adversity overcoming that, and like striving, self-reliance, like trying to survive out in the world. And I only gave my life to Jesus 3 years ago, and it was still like, I still didn't. It took a long time, like literally up until last week, to actually break some of that stuff off, like whatever old, thought patterns, behavior patterns, and feeling like being in this position, like something fundamentally had to change within me, because I was like, I am not cut out for this. Like, who I believe that I am, is not capable of doing, what Luke is telling me to do. Like, he was trying to coach me on how to like call this guy back, who wanted to cancel. And I'm like, literally, he's like, you're going to say this. And I'm like crying. And he's like, say it now. And he's like, stand up, say it louder. And I'm like, Luke, like, I can't do this. Like, this is just not who I am. And he's like, you're going to do it. And what did I do? I just did it. And once I did it, I felt better. And that's how our minds work, is like whatever fear is coming up, whatever, doubt, resistance, limiting belief, it's a lie straight from the devil. And if we believe it, then we're going to act accordingly. But if we just do it, our mind like looks at fear as like, we're literally going to die. That's what we think, like when that's happening. Our mind is like, you are going to die if you call this person and they yell at you. So you're not going to do that. Like, and 95% of our unconscious mind is going to override whatever 5% of belief we might have about who we are, who we want to be, or what we want to do. So we have to like figure out a way to overcome that. And usually it's just by doing it, or by, surrendering it to God, which still took a long time for me to figure out how to actually do that. And so in that process, yeah, it was really just doing what there was to do. And then as I just continued to seek God, and give him all of this stuff that, I was giving to Luke, and then I learned, okay, maybe I should just give this to God. Luke's encouragement too. And then it's like, okay. And now, and then boom, everything just started to shift. And I didn't even feel like I was doing anything, but yet I was doing more. So like my capacity increased, because I wasn't focused on what I wasn't doing or what I couldn't do, but rather just doing what was in front of me to do as it showed up to do it. And then accepting, right? Like, things are gonna suck sometimes, but that doesn't determine the outcome. If you have like a clear vision and a goal of where you're going. And so I think that's a really important thing, that I know our mentors here do a really good job of like continuing to remind us of. Like, we have to have a clear vision on where we're going. Otherwise, how are we going to get there? You won't know where to go. You won't know what to do. And someone could tell you all day long, but then it's going to be harder to actually do what they're telling you to do. So having a clear vision, seeking God, surrendering, and then just all of a sudden, feeling like I'm now doing all this stuff. I'm making more dials, or honestly less dials, but I'm in more sits. Things are just happening all of a sudden. 5 new agents I'm hiring like within a week, just unexpectedly. And I'm still a single mom. I still have to make dinner every day. I still have to, go pick my daughter up from school, take her to gymnastics. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's how God works. And that's what just putting, being obedient to what God has called you to do, and being obedient to your leaders will do.
Let's go. That was fire. I got fired up from that. Can we just say thank you? Like, clap it up. Let's go.
Let's go, Brittany. Let's go.
That was amazing.
I still got to make dinner. Still got to take care of my daughter. Like, that's awesome.
Absolutely. That really comes down to just making no excuses, right? Like, no excuse is valid. And if you start to believe in an excuse, it becomes a lie. And so you don't want to believe the lie, because that's when you're going to be like, that's when we're never going to see you again. So you got to kill the excuses now. So any excuse, anything that's hard, any procrastination, you've got to kill that. Kill the excuse, kill the procrastination, and really just put the next, she said, one step at a time. What was the next thing in front of me? All right, do that. What's the next thing in front of me? Okay, do that. And if you continue to do that for a long period of time, you're going to be where you want to be. So I'm really excited to see your growth, really excited to see what you're doing, and really excited to see you step into now a management role, right? So the physical labor is trading time for money. Number 2 is managing people and systems. So you guys all need to be trying to get to number 2 as fast as possible. Managing people and systems, right? Managing yourself, managing people. Then 3 is communication, right? 3 is communication. That's speaking, selling, influencing. And then 4 is visionary, leadership, creativity. That's when you're partner with David and you're helping design the next trip. You're helping design the company, like you're helping design where does the company want to go next? Where should we travel to? Do you guys want to go to Costa Rica? Do you guys want to go to Rome? Do you guys want to go to Italy? Right? So the goal is to get to number 4, which is vision, leadership, and creativity. So we're gonna drill some things right now. I want to see you guys have a little bit of pressure on you. Put a little bit of pressure on you guys. Let's talk about. Should we do booking in home? Or should we do plus lead booking? Plus lead booking? I need one head nod. Okay, we got one head nod from Brittany. Plus lead booking. All right. So plus lead booking, this is, let's just say you've collected 10, 15, 20 plus leads and you try to book 1 or 2 in home. It didn't work out. You close out the deal. You're done. Now it's the same day, next day, and you're staring your plus leads in the face. You're like, okay, first dial of the day. That first dial of the day is always the hardest one. And when you're staring that first dial of the day straight in the face, Keisha, what are you saying to your plus lead?
So plus lead gonna call them one day. Hey Luke, this is Keisha, the Veterans Benefit Case Manager. You've been sponsored in via Lily for some veterans benefits. So I just want to go ahead and process those benefits with you.
Okay. Well, what does that mean exactly?
So what we do is I do work virtually, and so what I can do is send you over our secure benefits portal as right now, and so I can go over that with you right now.
Okay, well, I don't have time right now.
Totally understand. I do not have time as also, but if I'm now getting nervous because threw me off. So sorry. So I just basically say I totally understand. I am totally busy as well, so I can most definitely schedule a time with you that we can go over those benefits.
Love that. And then for
I have the time here.
Let's go. That's perfect. A+. Everybody that's in the audience, please raise your hand. I want to get you guys up here. So if you're in the audience, raise your hand so we can get you guys up here. If not, we're going to have to move you guys all into breakout rooms, and we're going to make you guys do it with a leader. So Gradivi, Marisa, Berena, Jacob, Zach, Lindsay, Teresa, Bunmi, please go ahead and raise your guys' hands. We want to make sure we have full participation here because we're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you. Okay. All right. Katarina. Can you hear me? Okay. Let's go to Michael. Mr. Ayala. You just got some plus leads. It's the next day. It's the next morning. You're staring your plus leads at the face. You're going to call them. What are you going to say?
He's deafened, bro.
He's definitely deafened. Okay. That is what it is. All right. Alexandria. Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Are you gonna speak first? I'm calling you.
You go ahead and call me. I'm your plus lead.
Okay. Hey, Luke.
Yes, this is Luke.
This is Alexandria, and I just met with your sister Devon. And the reason I'm calling is because she set up a private benefits package for you because she is a veteran and she did serve our country. You just saw the text message that she and I just sent, correct?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, great. So Devon is a member in good standing with us, and she was allowed to share some of her benefits out to you. So when you get a chance, make sure to thank your sister, okay?
Okay.
So I have your private benefits package here. I just need to activate it for you and your wife, Lily. It doesn't take long, but it is very important. So check your text messages for a number from blah, 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 and it's going to have my secure benefits portal. If you can tap on that, and then we can see each other.
Okay. Yeah, I got the text.
Okay, great. Go ahead and tap where it says please join.
Perfect. Easy. You had it down. You got it. Seems like you had it memorized. Let's go. You feel confident on that?
Me personally, yes.
Okay.
Somewhat.
I
But you didn't give me any objections, so.
I didn't feel the need to. I felt like it was very straightforward. I thought you did great. Perfect. Mr. Boonmi, sir, are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we are booking a plus lead. You just collected 15 plus leads yesterday. It's a brand new morning, and you're going to call me. I'm one of the plus leads.
Okay, I do have a different script.
That's okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, so just give me a second. Hey, John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this going with the Hale veterans. I was one that met with your uncle Joseph. So did they let you know I'll be calling you? Is that right?
He didn't let me know.
Okay, great. No problem. So I will back up and I'll figure what's going on. So as you know, your uncle Joseph is a veteran, and as a veteran, he was able to extend some of their private veteran benefits out of the immediate family. Now, you being his cousin, he should you to receive them. Now, I am not sure how familiar you are with the veteran benefits. Joseph is not able to extend all his government benefits that he has, but he is able to extend most of his VSO benefits, like